Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Today we're looking at some new cards which are introduced within Yu-Gi-Oh Rush Duels. These are supposed to support the character Nick, and these are more Fire Beast support. The first card is Grilled Pangolin. This is a level 1 Fire Attribute Beast type normal monster with 0 attack and 1400 defense. A creature dwelling in a caldera, living at its own pace. While it remains calm, the flames covering its body cause everything around it to catch fire, turning the surrounding area into a sea of flames. I am finding this card to be particularly hilarious, considering that some people estimate, and I don't know whether this is just like a rumour or whether this is just hearsay or whether this has some actual truth to it, that some people believe the pangolin was the reason why the coronavirus spread as it was within the wet market, because this was the creature that was being eaten. And I think it's a little bit insensitive for the Japanese to actually introduce something like this. They might have wanted to go with something else because there might be some culture wars in this. It does note this card's name seems to be a play of Senzanku, which is pangolin, along with Kaku, which is delicacy. But the Kaku here is fire armor. Heat Hyena is a level 4 fire attribute beast type effect monster with 1000 attack and 800 defense. The requirement you can activate if you control no other monsters, and the effect is to send cards from the top of the deck times the number of monsters your opponent controls. The idea of this is basically to help reduce your deck size, and then hopefully by thinning it you're able to search for better cards. It also works alongside the boss monster, which actually gains some attack stats, I think based on the number of monsters that are currently in your graveyard that are fire attribute. Wild Kitchen is a field spell card with the requirement you can activate this card if you control 3 face-up monsters that are fire attribute. The effect, while this card is face-up in a field zone, face-up monsters that are fire attribute on the field gain 300 attack. This is a decent enough boost, considering actually within the original Yu-Gi-Oh! You do have some field spells that do give roughly this type of boost. The only concern is you do need to have 3 face-up monsters in order to activate this, but generally speaking, if you're running a pure fire attribute build, this isn't going to be a difficult condition to meet. Just Meat is a normal spell card with the requirement you can activate if you control a face-up monster and must be a level 7 or higher beast type. The effect is to send the top 4 cards of your deck to the graveyard. If you send 4 monsters that are fire attribute beast type to the graveyard, you can also choose one face-up monster on the field. It gains 2900 attack until the end of the turn. So this is a very risky card in general. The boss monster is actually a higher than level 7 beast type, so that's okay. The requirement to send the top 4 cards of the deck to the graveyard are fine, but they all have to be fire attribute beast type. So you are going to have to load the top of your deck, which I don't think currently you can really do within Yu-Gi-Oh 7s or Rush Duels. And then your monster then gets 2900 attack. That I think is the biggest increase of any stat line currently in the game, but it's so risky and you are going to have to rely on running certain things to make sure the top of your deck has those cards to guarantee it every time, and running those might actually clash with the nature of your deck. And the final card is called Barbecue, Burning Beast Quality. It's a normal spell card with the requirement you can activate by shuffling 1 monster that must be beast type from your graveyard into the deck. The effect, all face-up monsters that are fire attribute on the field gain 100 attack times the number of face-up monsters that are fire attribute on the field until the end of the turn. This is a recovery card for one of your beast type monsters, and it boosts up all face-up fire monsters by 100 times that number of monsters, but it does so for both yours and your opponent's, which means if it happens to be you and your opponent have, say, 3 monsters each, that's a maximum of 600 attack points. Most likely your opponent isn't going to be running a mirror match or a fire attribute deck, and so at most likely you're going to get about 300 points. It's fine for each of your monsters, but there's only potentially an extra 900 points of damage you can put on board. It's nothing game breaking. I like the design of these cards, and I hope in the future they're going to support more of this character. Who knows as and when his significance is going to be within the Season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush Duels and Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, but here's hoping we'll actually get some more support for what seems to be a very interesting style of deck. Whatever you think of these cards, leave those in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more